Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan, Cleopatra, Napoleon Bonaparte. These were not just rulers, they were legends. Their decisions shaped history. Their legacies still echo through time. But what made them so powerful? As a child, he watched his father conquer kingdoms. The son set over Macedonia, but his story was just beginning. He trained with steel, driven by fire inside. Under Aristotle's gaze, he learned wisdom and war. Macedonian warriors sharpened blades, ready to follow him. Philip's death lit the torch of destiny. Ships sliced the waves, crossing the Hellespont. Before battle, he offered prayers to the gods. Persian scouts trembled at the sight of his army. Sword raised, he led the charge into legend. Chaos erupted at Issus. His tactics crushed the enemy. Darius fled, leaving behind glory and shame. Wounded soldiers felt their king beside them. Cities burned, but his fire only grew stronger. In Babylon, even enemies knelt before his might. He wandered Egypt's temples, chasing the favored gods. Alexandria was born from the mind of a conqueror. Love bloomed. Roxana softened the heart of the warrior. His men grumbled, weary from endless campaigns. India waited. He marched without turning back. War elephants thundered toward his phalanx. At Hydaspes, he stood unshaken in the storm. Bloodied, yet unbeaten, he still gave commands. In a dark tent, strategies turned into empires. Under stars, he studied the lands yet to fall. Flames lit the night as soldiers rested for war. Indian kings surrendered with silent respect. Alone on horseback, he wrestled with fate. The sun scorched his army across alien sands. War banners danced in the desert winds. Behind him, cities lay in ruins, silent witnesses. Generals clashed in anger over the next move. He embraced a dying friend, heart heavy. Scribes etched his victories into eternal memory. Drums roared in celebration of a new conquest. On a golden throne, he wore full battle armor. Wine flowed at the feast of another fallen empire. Rain fell as swords clashed one more time. Horses drank beside tired warriors. His eyes, sharp and burning with vision. An artist captured his image for the ages. Clouds twisted above, omens of his final march. Men dragged their feet, drained and broken. He spoke to them softly, his last command. Candles flickered around his deathbed. His generals wept as the light in him faded. On parchment, his empire stretched across continents. A statue rose, immortal in stone and shadow. His sword lay still, but his legacy marched on. Next, the steppes glow under a golden sunrise. A falcon sits on a warrior's arm. An old map with tribal routes, lit by candlelight. A peaceful village surrounded by mountains. Temujin by the fire, his face glowing. Snow-covered mountains in the distance. Elders discuss war plans in a tent. Young warriors practice sword fighting. Temujin shakes hands with a leader at sunset. A broken chain symbolizes freedom. Soldiers prepare horses for battle. Temujin stares at a fallen enemy. The army marches through the desert. A warrior charges into battle, sword raised. An aerial view of the Mongol siege. Temujin surveys his empire from a peak. Horsemen gallop across the plains. Temujin's eyes burn with ambition. Warriors line up for battle. Temujin faces rival leaders. Soldiers ride through a snowstorm. Temujin gives orders to his generals. A war horse stands ready for battle. Temujin kneels by a fallen comrade. Archers hit their targets precisely. The Mongol banner waves in the wind. Temujin leads a moonlit raid. A battle axe gleams in the light. Soldiers rest around a campfire. A lone warrior guards a cliff. The army prepares for a sea battle. Temujin speaks to his troops. Warriors ride through the fog. Temujin sits in thought by candlelight. Warriors encircle an enemy fort. Temujin stands firm on the battlefield. Generals plan strategy. The army charges into the city. Temujin watches the sunset. Warriors fight in the forest. Temujin gazes at the Great Wall. Soldiers prepare for a cavalry charge. Temujin leads his army into battle. Warriors charge through the city. Temujin studies a map of Asia. Soldiers stand ready for battle. Temujin gives orders. Warriors train in hand-to-hand combat. Temujin's army celebrates victory. Next, Cleopatra. The Nile awakens under a golden sun. Cleopatra gazes out, dreaming of power. Alexandria bustles with trade and tension. She sharpens her beauty like a weapon. Isis watches as destiny stirs. Gold and marble define her throne. Power whispers through noble halls. She writes secrets by soft lamplight. Rome gossips about the Egyptian queen. Caesar's ship nears Alexandria. Cleopatra greets him with royal fire. Together, they walk through blooming gardens. Banquets hide deeper games of power. A secret alliance is sealed in silence. Calm and cunning, she moves like a queen. Betrayal burns behind palace walls. Antony arrives with Roman pride. Love blossoms under the setting sun. Sacred chants echo through the temple. She wears a double crown with pride. Her cobra crown gleams in the light. Antony rouses Egypt's warriors. Celebrations dance through the palace. Rome spies from the dark corners. Cleopatra listens with a steel gaze. Orders arrive from Caesar's world. Her barge sails like a goddess. Perfumes prepare her for diplomacy. Words cut sharper than blades. She walks the torchlit halls alone. A statue rises to honor her. The people cheer their living goddess. Moonlight watches over ancient power. She prays in secret for her land. Roman warships close and fast. A storm brews over the Nile. They ready for war on horseback. She watches the battle unfold. Fire consumes the Roman clash. She hides truth in golden urns. A message races through the palace. She reflects in her final hour. Darkness swallows the royal halls. A coin falls, her fate sealed. Roman power rises as Egypt fades. Her legacy lives in quiet museums. Her name glows on ancient scrolls. Beneath stars, she stands immortal. Alexandria fades, but she remains. Napoleon Bonaparte. The misty French countryside dawns with golden light as Napoleon studies maps in a dimly lit room. In his uniform, he walks with eyes filled with ambition, while revolutionary France erupts in flames and protests. Napoleon rides through the snowy Alps, and the French army cheers as he speaks. His eyes burn with ambition as he leads a cavalry charge at Austerlitz and studies war maps in a tent. At Notre Dame, Napoleon crowns himself emperor, while the French palace exudes imperial glory. With urgency, he signs royal decrees as European leaders whisper against him. Napoleon's army marches through the snow, and cannons fire, filling the battlefield with smoke. He strategizes over a war table, while winter grips his army, and fire flickers to keep them warm. He watches Moscow burn, his hand trembling over a war report, as Josephine gazes out a lonely window. Napoleon gazes into a mirror, doubt in his eyes, and at Waterloo, chaos consumes the battlefield. He stands tall, refusing to retreat, but his hat lies in the mud, a symbol of defeat. In exile, Napoleon walks alone on St. Helena, writing his memoirs by candlelight. Ocean waves crash, echoing his isolation. His face shows years of struggle. A statue of Napoleon stands as tourists gather around, and his legacy endures from paintings to modern France. For legends for empires, one truth, power fades, glory dies, but legacy lives forever.